let's keep going on with the Thursday Trucking Thursdays. Now I did, like I told you guys, I did do a little bit offline on this, but not a whole lot of progress. Just some stuff that I wanted to do, and I didn't feel like I was going to be able to do it behind the camera. So what I did is I went ahead and mounted the exhaust. I must got that tied in. Um, I painted the radiator. I can't remember what I shared last. I'll have to go back and look at some stuff. But I went ahead and the motor is mounted now. The wheels and tires are mounted. If you can't see, if you see in the background there, I took a pop can. I already opened this one. I should have waited. But if you sand off the color, the sides of the can are thin, and you get the aluminum look. So I took a set of Pegasus brake rotors, and I cut the brake rotor off itself because they wouldn't fit on these big die cast wheels. So I made my disc brake. Then I glued on calipers onto the wheels on both sides to get full wheel disc brakes all the way around. It's got Detail Junkies. I went ahead and put Detail Junkies hot rod. See if we can't see that. Hot rod knockoffs on. Photo etch. Then you can see more of the disc brake. Then I just went ahead and put some metal around the exhaust to make it look like real exhaust hangers. The last time we talked, you guys saw me do the U-joints on the drive shaft. So we got that right there done. The motor's mounted. I got the radiator hose in. The motor is mounted into place now. Now the battery's not. I just got it sitting in there, just so I didn't lose it. So that's what I've gotten up there. So today, like, nothing's changed on the body. It's actually kind of a booger to get this in there now, but we got that set up like that. And then, so that's the recap of what I did offline. Today I kind of want to stay. Here's the stuff that they wanted to put the original wheels on, and I didn't like the rear look. So it's just black. You can't see the back of the, I just, painted those black. Right there. So we still need to finish up. Let's work on, today we won't need that, don't need that. Getting stuff out of the way that we don't need. Don't need that. I'm thinking today we will, here's some shocks. I don't like those shocks. Here's this. So today, let's, I got some, it's got these shocks here. And I really don't like them. So let's see if we can't update the rear shock a little bit. And then these here, I don't like how these here are hollow. So I think today we're just going to clean these up. And we're going to make, these are your wheel shocks. I want to clean these up, and I'm going to fill them up. I wish I had a way to put a magnet strip all the way down here, and then a magnet inside here, and that way you could stick it wherever you wanted to, but I don't have none of that. Get me a knife. You guys don't remember, I like to change my blades out between build sessions. It looks still pretty good, but I still like to change it out. Thank you guys for tuning in yesterday. For those of you that watched Workbench Wednesday update, got my thing of blades. Just going to get me a new blade in here. I got to talk to Pete from Skilled World. He, after seeing the video yesterday, he offered to update some of the stuff that I mentioned yesterday that were damaged with the 2 projects. After I sat down and inventoried them. But I told him, no, I'll stay with what I have. And we'll just build ours a little different than the print. So I got another box of stuff coming. And what we're going to do is we're going to view the print, which is cool because 2 prints he wants to do on the Truck and Thursday things. And but I also wanted to, I get hit a lot of time with questions about what something costs and where do you get the print. Some viewers have their own files. Some viewers have their own printers, and they kind of wanted to know about the prints. For me, what I want to say is it doesn't matter who has the printer. It all comes down to quality, and sometimes quality is knowing how to set your machines up, how to print. There's a lot of really good. I'm just taking a piece of sheet plastic, guys, and going to box these in. I've been wanting to do this since I opened the kit, and I just never have done it. So today we're going to do it on camera. Get rid of this because we don't like that brush. I'm going to get the other brush I like. And anyway, what me and Pete was thinking about doing is highlighting some of the stuff that we really like, some of the prints. Some of you guys that don't have a printer know that there's a couple of guys on eBay that are selling stuff. It's hit and miss. Like some of you guys know that some stuff is perfect that we get when we're buying from people online, and some stuff needs some work, and then other stuff needs lots of work. So what Pete and I were thinking about doing is helping share the files, the price of the files, and then for you guys that don't have a printer, reputable guys that have stuff that, just like with anything real resin, 3D printed stuff also needs some attention. But then it also comes down to, on the 3D printed stuff, it comes down to a thickness, the way somebody designs their supports for the print, the way it's cleaned up afterwards, like when you're cutting supports off and stuff. Like you guys know, we're a big fan of Joel's right here of Iceman Collection. We really like his stuff. Chris Frez, he's been doing a lot of good printing stuff. But then I got personal friends like Pete and Christopher Liu, John over at Gap Hill Speed Shop. All these gentlemen are having their own printers, and they're learning, and but they're more conservative. They're not just because they have a $300 printer thinking they can run out there and start selling stuff and making money. A few of these guys that are close friends, Chris Stunner, stuff like that. They're learning their process. Um, and then some of the people on eBay, they went and got a printer knowing they can get files and print, and sometimes some of the quality is just not there. I spent some time with a newer friend, Bill Koff, and we were reviewing some 3D parts and knowing the big difference between um, the same file, like some of the stuff that Joel will sell when he sells it on eBay. eBay's a gamble. You have to, some stuff is buy it now, but other stuff, you have to chase up. So if Joel says, I'm only going to print 4 of these, people know that price is going to be a little extreme on them. So what happens is they get ran up. Somebody else seen Joel print a Buick Riviera. It sold for $192. Joel's kit is clean. We can get it home, wash it, open up our scrub lines if we didn't like how deep the door jamb was or something. We can take our own time and open it up, scuff it, primer it, and build it. And then you see another guy that's seen Joel's sell for that high, put his for the same price, and when you get his, it's like, I have no door lines, I have no windshield moldings, the chassis looks like a and it's all about print times, it's all about supports, it's all about your process and cleaning. There's lots of information out there that a lot of us don't take time to look at, because we got a new toy. I'm going to use that new toy, and somebody else made money, so I'm going to make money, and we really not offering that quality. So at least with dealing with Pete, we're getting products to build, but we're going to share more or less where we get the files from, and if you're interested in printing it yourself, where you can get it, the cost of where you can get it, and then if you don't have a printer to do such things, we'll be able to direct you to the gentlemen that do it. I know with Fraz, I always call him Freeze, but with Fraz and with Joel, they're builders too, so a lot of their stuff is limited. They're going to print something for them to build, they're going to print a few to put in the hobby, but for the most part, they're going to turn around and they're going to be limited, so that way they're not just there making bodies, bodies and bodies over bodies. I missed the Mazda I missed the Mazda B2000 that Joel was doing, but I'm getting the Nissan pickup truck. And like right now, he keeps his store stock, but there's just some things that's limited run. So now I trimmed that up the best I could with the hobby knife, but you still want to. That cleaned up. One of the best things I like now about 3D printing stuff is we can get subjects that have never been made in kits. And I look, when you look online, there's a lot of like Jeffries has one of the best looking LS clips ever, I believe, in my opinion. Separate grill, separate headlights, but I built several LS Monis with the twin version, when twin was casting stuff, and it built out great just as well, at half the cost. And then, well, I think twins was out first. The one that twin and Mr. Biggs, if you guys know Anthony Rios, when Anthony and Jose made the LS clip back in 2007, 2008, man, that clip sold off everywhere. No matter how many times I casted some, because I can cast regular, what would be slush molds, not two-part. I never learned a two-part mold. But I had the rights to, I don't remember any clips. I'm still working on the Nissan 350Z. I don't remember any clips. I don't think I've ever built any clips, John. Anyway, looking at the files that, off of Cultus and stuff like that, there's guys out now making the whole Monty body for the LS. And to me, I'd rather use the monogram. I'd rather use the monogram body or Revell, because it was a monogram at first, and now it's Revell. I'd rather use the plastic body and then just add on the front clip, the rear bumper, the rear tail lights, and what have you, versus getting the whole body. And then I see bodies of stuff that we can still have, like today. I mean, I wouldn't go buy a 90 LX Mustang body if Revell has their body kit out. I'd much rather build it in plastic. All right, so I got that handled. Let's build the brake booster now. So we need parts 30 and 29. Now, we're definitely going to have to reposition this. I'm going to take this off. We're going to have to reposition this brake booster, because if you guys can see, put it down in there, where the brake booster is supposed to go right now is right above where I put the big heavy flow valve covers. So I'll probably have to re-drill that out, and we're going to move. My plan is, I have to build it first. My plan is to move it over just to the side a little bit. But, yep. Let's get this all off. I'll leave that plug in first. John, you get a lot of weather? We probably got about 4 inches here where I'm at. John lives about 55 miles south of me, 50, 60 miles south. He lives in Cleveland, and I live in northern Missouri, if you guys ain't from around this area. But I live about 50, 60 miles north of John. And we had a storm come through. Monday, it was 70. Hello, Mr. Scott. I haven't. I have dipped a model before, but I've never wrapped one. John, there is decals that we can put on for like carbon fiber hoods and trunks, and some of them are good decals and some of them are just worthless. They're not worth using at all. So guys, this is why I'm a fan of building your part. Cut your part off the tree and build it. Hello, Mr. Parker. Could you see that seam? Even though this is a brake booster and going to be down the hood, that seam still has a bit of flash on it. So we'll glue it. That's one thing I like about using the Tamiya glues. It's a welder. It's a welding type of glue. I mean, it bonds, but it kind of like melts the plastic together. Only to the point to where once it starts to evaporate, it stops. Some of the testers tube glue, especially the formula they had in the early 80s to mid 80s. Yeah, it's about 4 inches, John. Up here, anyway. Do you guys, anybody here, been watching The Last of Us on HBO Max? This week's episode, they went through Kansas City, and it showed Worlds of Fun amusement park, which is not far from where I'm at. All right, so I want to put, it's supposed to go there by the looks. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's not it. It wants it to go there, but I'm going to put it up over here. So I want it to be over here. That way it's out of the way of the valve cover. So one trick I have, guys, and I'm going to try it right now. It don't often work, but it works sometimes. Yeah, let's see. I'm about 16 miles north of Worlds of Fun, Scott. So here's a little trick I do when I'm going to relocate something. I take a little bit of paint, and I haven't took that peg off yet. I took a little bit of paint, and I'll put the dab of the paint on here. I learned this in the real automotive world, when, like, if you're going to rehang a panel or something, and then what I do is I'll come over here like this, and I'll touch where I think I want that piece to be, like that, and it's kind of like a stamp. So now I know that's where I need to drill. If I want this to be located right here, that's where that's going to be at now. So that's a neat little trick that I could show you guys. And then once I get that drilled out, engine number 9. Like I was saying yesterday, guys, I'm gonna put up a few things up for sale. If you guys watched yesterday's video, maybe see something that you want. I need some supply, so I want to be able to get some stuff um together so I can get some stuff painted and whatnot. Dude, I ain't seen you pop up in a while, Pummy. Yeah, it's this week's video, John. The one that came out on Sunday of this week. They're still on their way to Boston, and they go through Kansas City, and it shows World of Fun off to the right. And I'm gonna say the way they took downtown, I was telling my wife, she doesn't watch the show, but I was telling my wife the way they have Kansas City downtown, power and light and all that. Because what happened was there was an outbreak, kind of like COVID. If you guys don't watch the show, there was an outbreak, kind of like COVID, and when everybody started going into, they started being possessed by a fungus. And the way they made the downtown look was like, dude, I go there. So it's neat to see it all bust up like nobody's lived in it for 16 years. It's supposed to be 16 years after the pandemic. Little bit bigger. So I'm gonna go to size 9. I got all my drills in different sizes, guys. So I'm just slowly working up. I didn't think that would be a size 9, but looks like it is. All right. So if we locate that right there, still gives me room. Now, Scott, north and south, I'm thinking, is that the movie? Is that the movie where they was? Thanks, Pummy. North and south. That's where they were opened the land treaty, right? Where you'd have to go and fight for your own piece of land. Okay, let's see. Let's see where we go from here. Civil War. Okay, wonder what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking, for some reason, I'm thinking they were opened up the land treaty and there was a big fight and civilians were fighting each other over land. I thought that was north and south. Oh yeah, look at that. Just that little bit of movement, guys. It brings the master cylinder up a little high, but that'll still give me room to detail. Let's, where's the hood? Put that down, put that down. Oh, you cock. It's got cocked crooked. I think I must have hit it. One thing about brass is strong enough to use, but soft enough to still bend just by at the right angles. Look at that, and it's still, so that's a good placement of that. So we'll be able to wire that. Now I got to fill that hole up because that will definitely be seen. Then I'm gonna fill up this hole because that's where a jack's supposed to be. And I have to find out. Let's open up the instructions and see what's on that other hole. The problem with this one is, remember, we're using the 66 cab instead of the 67. So let's open up the 66. So let's open up the. I don't always use the instructions, but sometimes we have to. Let's see. Okay, on the firewall, on the inner fenders, it's a windshield washer bag. I don't know what the other one would be. Oh, I see. On this one, on the 66, it has a little master cylinder for no power brakes. But then in 67, they brought out power brakes. That's why my booster and everything was higher. On here, it's showing the horn. See, I'm going to see what Scott just said. Oh, that's cool. Major League 2 was funny. All right, so it looks like, let me see if there's any other fender options. All right, so it does want the water bag in there. So here, I don't have the water, I don't have a water bag. I have number 41. It's showing the water bag number 300. Am I missing a parts tree somewhere? I did mix all these parts up. And you know what? I think we could just go ahead and, I think I'm just going to go ahead and fill those holes up anyway. Here's the seat. And like you guys said, we already was working on the interior. Okay, let's close this side for me. This falls. Shit gets everywhere. So let's do that while I have all you guys following. Now what I'm going to do, you can see, pull interior out. Firewalls in place. And here's the interior. We just mocked that up. And so I still need to build that. Let's get this out of the way, the chrome piece. So wasn't No Country for Old Men, right? No, that was Arizona. That, and you're on the East Coast, I think. Uh-oh. There went the master cylinder. I like that movie. That's a good movie. Matter of fact, the guy that did Sugar, he he's in a stupid ass kid movie, Lyle the Crocodile. what was we doing? Okay. We're going to try to fill in these holes right here. So what I want to do is open this up more so we can get a peg in there. And I'm going to show you guys a cheap way I fix holes sometimes. We always have extra sprue in our models. So what I like to do sometimes to fix holes, and we might not always have the right size, is I'll heat up plastic like this from the plastic sprue. And then I'll push it through. I'll push it through like that. Let it set for a few minutes. Sometimes you can flatten it, but I'll let it set there for a few minutes. Don't do it with the flame, or you'll melt and warp. You'll melt and warp it. So I'll go in there like that. And then on the outside, you go in there. You can either sand it or cut it out. Sometimes you can leave it if you get a good mushroom head on it. You can leave it and make it look like it's just a filler piece, like a plug. I've often told people, other builders, eat if you have to where it can't be seen. Because trying to get in there on little sparks like this and fill that stuff in, you're going to damage. You'll damage more the other detail. Now that open hole is closed. Then we'll do the same for these. Right here are rectangled. These rectangled holes. And like with this one here, it has an indentation in it. So while the plastic is still soft, you can move it. And that way you get your indentation done. And then you can go in there. And then right there, that one's filled now. And then we got one more. You can also twist and turn it off if you don't want to, if you don't have clippers. And see how you twist and turn that off right there. And then you just wait a few minutes. Just go in here and trim it back. Oh, give me a piece. Take a little piece of sandpaper because these flat pieces are more noticeable. Now you guys know if you delete something or you don't use something because you put a bigger motor or something in there, instead of trying to put your hands in there and get the body work and everything done, you can always go in there with a little bit of plastic sprue. All reshaping. All right, now all the holes are filled up. Oh man, I broke that. I'll put some glue on there and get that back together. Yeah, you guys have a good one, Mr. Parker. Be careful out there. Yeah, John, I seen your comment. I never got to play the game. I don't have Xbox or nothing no more. The only games I really play is Call of Duty on my phone. Like I've explained before, everything I do is on my phone anymore. All right, so we got that done. Got this done. Guys, let's drill some little holes and get some copper wire in here to do our master cylinder lines. See how well that goes. Not going to go enough. Get that. Let's see. Oh, okay. And my little brother does a lot of gaming reviews and stuff on YouTube. Um, he's spoiled, man. He got lucky and has a gaming contract, John, where he gets to do games and reviews. He was working for a magazine before COVID hit, and then, I should say an online subscription. I said magazine, but ever since COVID hit, messed all their stuff up. So he does stuff on YouTube. If your boys are into video games and stuff, it's Jerwinko. It's J. God, you fell right out, didn't you? Need to update my drill bits. Okay. I'm almost going to get out my drill. I'm going to pull out the real drill. Okay. Yeah, that's all the ones I have too, Scott, are the non or the drag versions. I don't have none of the regular. Number 4. Where'd my bag of number 4s go? Put this back in there. 1, 2, 3. Maybe that's number 4, 7. All right. So drilled the holes. right here. So now let's get some brake lines ran. To make sure the wire I'm going to use will fit through it. All right. So now what I'm going to do is come out a little bit. First of all, clip them off. Then all right. Gonna put a little edge on them. Do that. And then with these, we'll glue these in place. And then we'll clean them up after they're glued into place, because we need to find out where super glue, where the super glue goes. Here's my super glue base. Put that right there. Come on, buddy. I know there's still some in here. I think either the lid's clogged or this is done for. It's all gummy. Where'd my knife go? Oop, it must be the tip. I got that tip open, man. It came out. All right. Now what I do with my wires. Here's one of them. Okay, I got both of them. All right. So right now we're gonna pick it. I think this next shipment we get from Pete, when I was talking about 3D printed stuff, is going to have some pretty cool stuff to show you guys. Hit my activator. All right, hit that with the activator. Okay, now we're gonna want to come out a little bit off the master cylinder. I'm going to bring the wires down like that. Now let's get it back. Need the super glue real quick. Gotta get it back over here. If we move it, see, we got it placed pretty much right where the wires are supposed to go. See where the firewall, the inner fender kicks back in there. So I think that'll be good. We'll get that like that. Then that way. So we got to get all this out of the way. Oh yeah. And then see, it'll go right down. The brake lines will go right down there. Not affect spark plugs. It's away from the frame. And that's pretty good. Alright, now, I guess since we got that did, let's, oh, one of my knockoffs fell off. That's another thing when dealing with photo etch, it could be fragile, tedious work too. Put that back on there. Now let's see. Comes in the interior. Like I said, a lot of this stuff I'll have to paint off the record, off the TV screen, but it looks like, see the seat, here's the front seat. Where'd my knife go? So here's the front seat. Because we're using the 66 cab, we're going to use all the 66 interior also. That's one thing I found with working with this 66 cab and then the 67 ramp truck stuff. I didn't run into a lot of warpage like some of the other community complaints have been, but for a new kit that's damn near $50, they do have a lot of flash. And usually, like some of the other companies, you really don't get a whole lot of flash until, several years down the road, when they've used the mold over and over and over. So that was a bit different. So the way these things are set up, let's get the instructions out. The way you do the pedals on these, kind of weird. They have these right here, and see where they have the holes in them? You glue the pedals, they glue upside down into here, like this. They go in like this. So if we go an automatic, we use this one. If we go stick shift, we go this one. So and my dad, when he would build models and I was first getting into models, I can still remember right when he would get the kit, he would get sandwich baggies out and he'd write on there motor, body, chassis, and he had actually opened up the whole kit and just go into taking all the parts off the tree. He would wash them by hand, clean them up, and then put them in the baggie. And I always it was kind of frustrating when I was first learning how to do a glue together model. Like my snap togethers, he just give them to me and let me go on out and just let me do whatever. But when I first approached him that I wanted to build something out of his closet, it was always a struggle because if you go to follow the instructions, all the instructions always have a part number. And with Dad taking the part numbers away from me because he had cleaned everything up, it was kind of a challenge when I was first younger getting into the hobby. But I thank him for it because I love this hobby. Been with me for years. Alright, so we're going to glue that into place now. So I mentioned yesterday scale modeling experiment. He just finished off the new round 2 AMT charger, and that kit looks really good. He did his in a blue with the silver stripe edition, and that's cool. A lot of the other companies we get older cars. We don't get a whole lot of newer cars. So he did that for us. All right, and if you guys can see, here are all the pedals. You got your gas pedal. So I would say that needs a little bit of sanding to get in there. Scott, we're adding the pedals now, bud. While you've been going. So yeah, a little bit of sanding. That fit in there pretty decent. All right. So just because the other one took some sanding, I'm going to go ahead and do some sanding on this. And I think it's like what I was mentioning a minute ago, the flash. You think for a newer kit. You get the gas, the brake, got the gas, the brake. We'll get, looks like we got emergency brake, and we got regular brake to do. What are we on, an hour now? Kind of like, it seems like if I work longer than an hour, I run out of content and I just start talking off at the mouth. So let's see what today goes like. Like I said, always test fit. And I always like to build off and then paint in detail, instead of trying to paint on the tree, and then when you go to install your part, you damage your paint or it doesn't fit. You can clean up all your seams if you build it and then paint it. Not saying that there's anything wrong with that, fellas. I'm just saying my preferred way. Scott, another thing I would like to add to a model, but it don't get seen very often. A lot of older cars, the high beam was on the floor. You would have to push the silver button that was on the floor to get your high beams off and on. And a lot of kits never come with that. And then a lot of the newer cars, the high beams are always being in the column, on the column. Okay, so there's the brakes. Get all those in. Now let's see how they fit in with the floor. Now the side panels, they're not glued in yet. Yeah, it's so far on the ground they wouldn't get noticed, would they? Another thing I remember is my grandpa lived on the farm his whole life. He was always a farmer, and he learned to create stuff when there wasn't nothing to be created. And I remember having the black button on the dash for the horn, Scott. Like when the ring horn would quit working, he'd just wire the black button where he would use it just on the horn. He'd just screw it to the dash of his old Chevy truck, and get that pedal straightened back up. So there's where that would be. All that right there. I think we'll remove this because we'll do an aftermarket radio on that anyway. So I got my Dremel tool already set up. This pedal here keeps wanting to move. Mobius did a good job. They did a good job with detailing the dash, but then they give you wrong decals, David. They give you decals that won't fit into that dashboard. Where'd that other truck go? But luckily on the 66, the decals, luckily on the 66 though, the decals are actually separate. But on the 67 and 70s, oh man, I just wish I had a better graphical camera. See the decals there. So we'll be able to detail up that dash a little bit, not a whole lot. All right. Now all I'm doing on this is I'm just going to delete this radio. Hello, Modelcraft. So, that pedal, that's the only pedal I'm having an issue with. So, since I already know I wanted to do an aftermarket radio setup, you know, where I got my photo reduced and photo etched faces. So, go ahead there, remove that, just clean it up, the sanding a little bit. And all that is, guys, was a diamond tool. You can get from any hardware store for Dremel. Just re-rounding my dash right there. So get that off. I have the steering column right here, but I'm afraid to put it in. Because I don't know if that will interfere with... That's going to interfere with detailing the... interfere with detailing the gauges or not. So let's see. We're going to get rid of the online shift, the column shifter, because we already know we're going to the floor with that. So let's go ahead and get us some glue. Okay, looks like there's a spot there on the floor this column sets into, so maybe we'll put that dash in just enough to let that column get a good seat. We'll do that. That looks like it should give me enough room to do my detailing without any issues. A little bit more. That's what this Tamiya, the Tamiya extra thin, the green one, the quick setting, it flows into a lot of really tight spaces. And then you still have the extra thin. This right here is a lot thinner. The light green one's a lot thinner. And then you got the regular liquid cement. This one, I like that one. But if I have to admit it, my go-to is usually going to be the BSI super glue. All right, so we got that. Here's this. Don't need that. Don't need this no more. Don't need this no more. Guys, we pretty much narrowed down everything except for getting it ready for paint. Then what do we got here? Alright, got headlights. All that. Window trim. Window trim. More window trim. I guess we can work on that next week. Window trim. Door handles. Gas door. Got mirrors, bumpers. Just kind of looking things over. I kind of, here'd be the jack. Here's the sun visor, so we better get those cut off and cleaned up if we're working on the interior stuff. You know what I noticed? I don't have a steering wheel for this. Get that off. Cute. Because we parted out 2 kits, I forgot to grab the steering wheel. There's the steering wheel. But at the same sense, I only want to keep this part of the steering wheel because I want to customize this to fit a photo etch steering wheel. So with that being said, that's drying. All right. I have some photo etch steering wheel pieces. That I want to use. I got that one. I need a horn button. Do we have any extra horn buttons? Sorry about that, guys. All right. I'm looking over what steering wheels I have ready already to see which one would go best with this truck. And I'm liking this one right here. All right. So what I did a couple years ago, put this one back. What I did a couple years ago was I bought a bunch of photo etch stuff from Steve at Star Models. He was doing a liquidation sale, so I bought a bunch of stuff. And I bought these steering wheels, centers from Model Car Garage. I bought these. And what I did is I took jewelry for an earring and put 2 of these together to make a thickness, and I copied it in resin because I had a hard time getting this to actually set in the jewelry ring. I'm just going to sand it a little bit like that. Now I'm going to, where'd my model knife go? what? That's awful soft. I must not got enough resin in that one. That one's awful soft. Yeah, here's a better one. And then when I decide what color to paint the interior, we can always paint the steering wheel the color we want. You got that done. Guys, I'm just cleaning up the flash of the steering wheel. Next week's workbench I want to share with you guys. I've been cutting up on 2 Mavericks. After a week or so ago, when me and Mr. Scott was talking about Mavericks and Comets, I cut 2 of the promos up. Added grabber hoods to both of them. Hinged. I even went ahead and hinged the promo hood, which I actually like the promo looking hood. And then one's got a 351 in it, and the other has 14 Coyote. Alright, so there's the resin itself, all cleaned up. So now I'm going to take one of these center pieces. Yeah, John, they just released the 3D print files for the 2024 Dark Horse Mustang. Right now it's really popular and really expensive, even just for the file, because of his passing. It's funny how stuff like that will skyrocket. Same thing happened with when Dale Earnhardt. Scott, that sounds so cool. I took the Monroe Mustang, the Revell Monroe Mustang, several years back, and I took the 99 Cobra R motor out of it and put in it, and man, it was pretty boss. I wasn't thinking about that Lightning truck though. I kind of got a Fox body started, Scott, with the Shelby motor. So then we'll add that. Let me get the super glue out. I like to scuff my the back side of the photo etch. Try to give it some glue down room. You know, scuff it that way that's not shiny smooth. Some pieces in the hobby are so little we don't have, you can't, you don't get that option, but this right here is big enough. Now you can apply photo etch with clear glue. I always use super glue. Just been my go-to. Yeah. And I'll have this wax pencil, and then sometimes you just push right down on it. Like I said, sometimes. And it will help you hold something in place. It's from Japan. I don't know if you can read it, but all it is basically a wax pencil. So I get it, put it in place. Always pinch it down for a little bit. And then it'll help show you what other parts you need to keep cleaned up on. So there's that. Alright. Clean up the back edge. So now that I know I got the steering wheel there, I could do the center cap next. Horn button, center cap, whatever you guys prefer to call it. Give me my toothpick back. Little dab in the center. Like I said, this hood piece is too small to scuff. So we're just going to glue it right in the middle. So I was reading online where Paul split away from UMP. He's still going to do his YouTube stuff and the ISM live stuff, but he's stepping away from UMP and just going to let Lee work that. So I wish Paul the best of luck. He's a good mentor. Very eager to open up his ideas and share his views on the hobby. So now I'm going to cut the factory steering wheel up. See how much smaller we're making this. This steering wheel will fit inside the factory wheel. Is that what you call it, Scott? I was at the dealership week before last, and a lady was in there, and it was a pretty funny argument. I don't know if you know, something you guys would find funny, but she was arguing about her extended warranty. the car needed wiper blades. And they're like, ma'am, that is not part of your warranty. Part of your warranty is drivetrain, mechanics, electrical. She goes, no, it says from bumper to bumper a warranty. And then the guy was like, well, no, it's just like your tires. They wear out. That's not a warranty. A warranty is for a part that is supposed to maintain and not a wear out part, so it covers you while you're making your payment that the vehicle will stay in, good running. And man, she sat there and argued, and it took everything not to laugh at her. Um, a lot of your extended warranties tell you right there they don't cover belts, hoses, um, alternators, um, water pumps, because that's all stuff that's, goes out in time. Heck, even your brand new cars, right in the paperwork and the extended warranty and all that, it tells you right there if you don't maintain your 60,000 mile engine clean, flush, and stuff like that, that it voids it from all. Yeah, brake lights. That you lose your extended warranty on the other stuff that you still have to have preventable maintenance they don't cover. Heck, I remember when I bought my white Optima in 2014. Um, Man, it came with a lifetime oil change. But then that dealership um, got bought out by another dealership, and they wouldn't honor that one. And then I bought my new one in 2019, my new Optima, because my other one was totaled. I had an accident on the way home at 3 o'clock in the morning in January 2019. Um, the new car came with one free oil change. It's like, Jesus Christ, what a difference. So now I'm gonna size up the horn button. John, what did you do with the yellow truck? I forgot to ask. I know I see the black one at work. I didn't know what you did with the yellow one. You gonna let one of the boys learn to drive in it, or is it something the wife uses, or is it just sitting there? Yeah. So I'm gonna narrow this. I'm gonna shorten this a little bit. Damn, it's hard to believe those boys are already about to start driving. Hell, Mason's been working since Christmas. So the car was out of gas, and neither one of them knew it. See ya, models. So now, do that, put that, get that back in mock-up spot. Get that right there. Where did I do with that steering wheel? Then we can get this put on there like that. My brother wasn't as into cars as me and my dad was, and I remember my brother not being able was late coming home from work. He was a young driver, and my dad would, back then, wasn't cell phones yet, and so my dad was worried about where my brother was, because he hadn't been driving that long, and he worked a little bit of ways away from home. So when he didn't show up, my dad was curious to where the heck he was. So we got in the truck to go find my brother to see if, something happened, an accident or something. And the fuse had blew. He had a 66 Fairlane, was his first car, which is my dream car, one of them anyway. And so I was already jealous of my brother. And he had a 66 Fairlane. The fuse blew, and the windshield wipers weren't working, and he didn't know how to change the fuse or even look for the fuse, so he was just stuck on the side of the road because the windshield wipers wouldn't work. So my dad, being a gearhead, he had fuses in the glove box of his truck, and we just replaced the fuse and went about our way. Yeah, my dad bought back, man, I was telling my kids, how we used to be able to buy cars for cheap. My dad bought a 66 Fairlane that ran and drove. It had a wrecked deck lid, like somebody had ass-ended him and went over the rear bumper. So it caved in the rear deck lid for $500. We drove it home. He had at the time, my dad had a 67 Fairlane, both 289 cars. Alright guys, there's the custom steering wheel made. And I got it to where I used the mount from, we cut the center mount out of the kit steering wheel. And we made our Photo-X steering wheel work. And then we'll paint it all when we get the interior ready. I kind of want to mock it up in there and see what it all looks like. I'm a big fan, if you guys are new to my videos, I'm a big fan of mocking up stuff. Always check your work. My biggest thing is I've always been into audio stuff, Scott. So I'd always had fuses for my amps, my equalizers, stuff like that. So it's always common for me to have, heck, I even got a storage container of brand new fuses for my minivan and for the car. Just, you just never know when a fuse decides to pop. Moisture from the temperature going from 70 to 43. There's all kinds of factors that will make a... See, now I can't even get the interior in there now. I'm going to clean this up real quick. Wonder if it has something to do with when we filled in that hole. I forgot to clean that up. What was that? Something flew up. see anything. Hood hands, steering wheel. Thought I heard something go ching-a-ling-a-linga. Alright. Dude, I'd go with my uncle owned a body shop. So every now and then, to make extra money, we would go to salvage auctions, Scott, and we picked up a car one time, and all it said was electrical damage, and it had the keys, had a clear title, and my uncle was like, well, if we can get it just enough to run and drive, you know, we could sell it that way and it'd be somebody else's problem. When we got in there and looked, instead of replacing, remember the bus fuses that were like, a lot of people know their fuses now, they're just the colored ones that they pop in. But the older cars had a bus fuse. They were glass, guys, and they had a tin top and a tin bottom with a tin wire through it, and they were encased in glass. Instead of replacing the fuse, they had it shoved full of aluminum foil, and the aluminum foil had melted. And so all we really, I mean, it was some cleanup work, but all we had to do was got the soldering iron out and heated the aluminum back up and melted it all the way and put fuses in it, and we bought a $50 car that ran and drove just because somebody else, instead of just spending the time to put the right fuses in, they had jerry-rigged it, and the whole car, I guess, because it caught fire, they totaled it, because it had a salvage title and it was listed as electrical damage, but it was just that they had put aluminum foil in instead of a damn fuse. Even like I've had cheap stereo equipment, and even then I still put in real cutoffs and fuse bars and stuff. I don't know why. It's one of the cheapest things that you can put in your vehicle, and people overlook it. So there's the custom steering wheel in the dash. Can you guys see that? It looks good. A good placement too. There through the back window. So now we're gonna have to I'm gonna put the interiors in. Recap what we did today. We finished the dash, got the pedals in, got the steering wheel built, relocated the master cylinder. We wired the master cylinder. Got that in there. Built the steering wheel. Oh, I see that. I don't like that. Built a new steering wheel. What do you guys think? Decent day, I guess. And I guess I'm at the point now. We did the bumps. Where are the bumps? Here's 1, 2. So we got the wheel chocks closed up. Did that, did this. I guess we're done for the day. It looks like now, I guess our next, unless I get some funds in, I think the next time we talk would just be little updates. I'll try to see what colors I have in the garage that I can use, and we'll make a decision on what color the body goes next week. I'll let you guys help pick that out. I think that would be neat as a community build, if I give you guys a selection of colors, and you guys be able to pick from those. Paint went up a lot too. Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. I've seen cars sitting at the salvage yard, um, non-running, mechanic specials, and all it was like in the late '80s, bit in the early '90s was Ford mass airflow sensor, a $30 part. People were junking cars for a $30 part, or some is yeah, um, some of them are vacuum lines. Like, well, my car's got a knock in it, and it just be, you know, exhaust manifold cracked, or gasket blew, and people, when they don't have the knowledge of it, you know what I mean. That's sad. I've seen a lot of good stuff get junked. Uh, John, my intentions was I have a custom. I don't see it now. I have a custom. This truck here. This right here is an original from 1966, John, and it was a Ford unibody truck that I cut. I shortened. I added a Revell 66 Chevy roof on it, and I was making this. My intentions on this is to make it look like Ford's first Bronco. Chevy's was called a carryall, but Ford really never had one. They were just delivery trucks and our panel trucks. So I was going to try to build this one in as the early Ford pickup Bronco. I already have the motor for it. I already have wheels and tires for it. And this right here was an original screw bottom. It's very rare. It's kind of a rare kit that I decided to cut up. And I started this long ago, before this truck was even out. I got these wheels picked for it. They were off of a die cast. Maybe I could do it this way. Maybe I can't. But this right here needs lots of work. But my goal is, if I keep Thursdays as a Truck Thursday theme, I was going to do that with, and I'm going to do that with it, John. These wheels. But that's all it is right now, is this. Yeah. Yeah, kind of what I was going for, Scott. I guess I used the wrong filler up here. Everybody was talking about using that two-part where you bend it up together and everything, and it just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So I kind of left it alone, and over the years moved on to other things. I shortened the original chassis and everything. I've had this for many years, a long time. So here's the original hood. I didn't see the original front end. Yeah. Yeah, I got the front end right here. It was an old glue bomb. I pulled it apart, cut it up. So that was my intentions, to go on the back, John. Not to say that that's what's going to stay, but that was my intentions in the beginning. Well, here's an example. It got, like, if you was to use regular body filler, I could almost chunk it back out. But man, it got too hard, and you can see the different spots in it, Scott, that I almost, if you go to cut it like that, see how it breaks up, like if you were trying to use a colored pencil, and I kind of kind of just got upset with it and left it alone. I thought I was going to do more damage than what it was worth. So when it gets warmer, I'm going to go. You guys, you won't hear this much from a model builder. But when it gets warmer, I'm going to go outside with my DA and I'm going to sand it. I'm going to sand it all down and make it flat. Oh. I don't recommend it unless you guys got a good steady hand and you know what you're doing. Because the DA moves fast. No, I don't know. This right here, John, I'm thinking this is more of a show truck, not a race car hauler. So the truck itself is going to be would be something that somebody has restored for a showpiece as itself, even if I didn't have a mate to it. You know what I mean? Well, guys, looks like I'm pushing 2 hours. I'm going to try to come back on next Wednesday, and I want to show you guys the 2 Mavericks I've been working on. I want to try to keep Truck Thursdays related to this project until we get it done. Then we can come back to this on another. But like I said yesterday, I have plenty of material to stay doing a Truck Thursday on different things. No, this right here is going to be like someone found this old truck sitting at an old abandoned service station, and the truck itself is going to be a showpiece, and then whatever goes on it, it's just going to be an extra showpiece, if that makes any sense. I'm going to look up, you guys, I know guys that do figures, and I've built figures in the past, but man, I would like to have this strip here on both runners magnetized, and these right here be magnetized somehow, and that way we can position them for which car they're on, and that way they can stay on the thing, because as of right now they're just 2 loose pieces, and I kind of don't want to glue them in, because like John was saying, I don't know exactly what vehicle I want to put on here just yet. John mentioned a race car. The only race car I really have is a Tamiya. I have a Tamiya Zack Speed Capri, but it's 1/24 scale. It's a lot bigger. I have this one. I don't even think it makes the truck look little. But it fits on there real good. This one here, I gold plated the wheels myself. Steering it turns. Yeah, Scott, I've seen little bitty, some of the military guys and some of the figure painting guys, they're little bitty. Oh, look at that. That kept it from moving. Huh. They have little bitty magnets. Yeah, it's hollow all through here. What will happen will be I'd have to open these up somehow. But if I opened up, what I was thinking, that if I cut one of these open, I can, fill it in and it not be a problem. But I don't want to cut all 4 open. If I can cut just one of these open, I wasn't on camera when I said that. Yeah. Well, some drill. So I was thinking, see, I got all these little holes for the tie downs. Some are that small, Scott and Kirby, where I could drill the magnet out itself and put them in there, and then I could bare foil my runners to keep them chrome plated, and then just put a magnet on here. But I see what Scott's talking about is they have a roll of magnet that I can roll the whole thing down, and it has a sticky back on it already. So I know exactly what Scott's talking about. Huh. That's another thing. That's another thing we can look at is prep. As I'm sitting here looking at that, show you guys how I prep my builds for paint. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So here's that. Here's an Tamiya Ford Sierra. Uh-oh. Mirror just came off. Mirror just came off. I pulled this out to show you guys. Pop the damn mirror off. So it'll fit that pretty good. I'd like to find some more of these. All the ones I have are the race car versions. They don't. It's hard to find the stock versions like this one is. I built this one 2003, 2002. Cause I don't. It's all done up. It'll fit. I don't think it'll fit my Cadillacs. I don't think it's. I don't remember. Did we try to test fit one of the Cadillacs? Yeah, that's a big boy. That's not fitting on there too good. And see if we had the magnet. If we had a magnet on there. Because I don't want to glue it into place. See, that's what I'm talking about. If we had a magnet, it would, and keep it. Well, guys, thank you for following today. I'm rumbling on now. Yeah, bet you. Yeah. Well, that's about it for today for Trucking Thursdays. Thank you guys that joined in. Like the conversations. And I'm always here to answer questions if you guys are in the middle of a build and are facing a roadblock or something. And as you could see between me and Dad and Scott, a lot of information to be shared. And So don't be afraid to take part, jump in, ask your questions, leave your comments. You know, there's always maybe somebody in the that's watching just like you guys that could answer questions maybe I don't have the answer to, or maybe I overlook. That's what's great about this community. Yeah, I'm gonna try to come back Wednesday. The rest of the week I'm probably gonna be busy, but I'm gonna try to come back Wednesday, and I'll kind of want to do a bench Wednesday thing where I just talk about whatever or work on whatever, and then keep Thursdays for trucks only. Because like I said in my video yesterday, I got a 69 Blazer, a 72 Chevy truck, the 90 King Cab Chevy truck, the 90 step side, 90 King Cab that I want to make a step side, um, um, two more 60 Fords, a 54 Ford, a 37 Ford. What else do I got? I got the 74 that's lifted that I need to finish. I got another rebuilder that my dad did, a 70, the 78 Boss Hog, Boss Hoss original Bronco to rebuild. I got a Steve Huntington's Dodge pickup truck I need to finish working on. I got some 3D printed stuff coming in over the next couple weeks. I got one of the Hellcat Durangos coming. The 3D printed Hellcat Durango, I went ahead and got it coming. I got a Nissan hardbody pickup truck coming. So I got plenty of stuff to have Thursdays be a pretty good theme. Trucking Thursday. I have a Sunny wide body Sunny kit that I started years ago that I need to finish. Here's the Steve Huntington Dodge. I got it all lifted, made it a short bed. It's all lifted. It's hinged. Pretty much the engine bay's done, all the motors done, the interior's done, the chassis done. I was waiting on clear red tail lights because this one here was like you guys can see in the orange, it was built up already, that he let me take advantage of and save. I got a new tailgate for it a couple weeks ago. I was waiting on the clear reds. He sent me a set and I lost them when I moved, so I ordered another set. I opened up the grill. Where's the parts for this one? This one here's had a lot of custom work done to it too. I opened up the grill, the factory grill. All this was molded in. The headlights were molded in, so I opened all that up. That's going to be on there like that. So this right here has been a work in progress for a while. So this right here will be a Trucking Thursday option. I started this when the trucks first came out. So I got to finish this one. The chassis is already done on this one. Motor's already done on this one. We went with the CVG resin, 959 Sunny Pro Mod motor for this one. The chassis is all done. The super rare So Real wheels and tires are on this one. All custom lift. It's all axle brakes, all the shocks and stuff. Got a lot of work going into this one. I gotta get back to that. I got quite a bit to keep Trucking Thursday focused just on trucks. I got a Ford Courier, wide body Ford Courier. I got a Ford Lightning that, like me and Scott was talking about a minute ago. I got the 92 Ford Lightning, the AMT one. Scott, I don't have the Revell one. I got the AMT Lightning short bed that I wanted to do something with. Got this Sunny that we already put a C1 wide body on that I need to finish. You know, we got plenty of truck stuff to keep the theme going for Trucking Thursdays. It's hard for me to get dedicated time, fellas, and it's hard for me to work only on something a little bit at a time, so that's why I want to do Workbench Wednesdays, and that way I could just work on whatever and share that with you guys as I do it. So with that being said, guys, let me see. Me and Scott are talking about the same truck. You got this one? This is the same one, right? I like this body style. I don't like the style after this. Just wasn't a fan of the newer body style. My dad has a 97. I believe my dad's is a 97. But I always liked the square. I didn't really like when they became the newer, rounder ones. Yeah. Yeah, Scott, real quick. This is the Mustang. I was telling you that I got this kit here I've been working on. Man, I seem that I got a lot of interest in it. And then it seems like I just put it to the side. But I had custom wheels made for it. These are aluminum wheels by Michael Newport. But yeah, I T-topped it. I hadn't hinged the hood yet, but there's the Cobra motor out of the 99 Cobra. And I need to make a pipe that goes from here to there, but still stays under the hood. I wanted this one to look like a modified stock, like you wouldn't know it had that motor in it until he took off. But yeah, I love swapping out the motors. But I never thought about using that Ford Lightning motor in a Maverick. But next week, the Workbench Wednesday, I will share the Maverick projects we're working on. Guys, I gotta run. You guys have a great day and be safe. This is Minnie and I'm out. Thanks for joining me today on this 66 ramp truck. I believe, Scott, the water bike actually is a Capri body with the Mustang front and rear end. They don't have the Capri front end, but I believe it's a wide body, and that's the Revell combo kit. Unless I'm thinking of the snowmobiles. Yeah, have a good one, guys. This is Minnie, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.